You know, it used to be that I was quite the gym rat to the point where I was pretty much solid muscle in about 280. And I was the beast, let me tell you what. See now, and here's the thing. I don't need to envy anybody because I'm my role model. That's not true. I have other role models, but whatever. Anyway, long story short, I got a lot of attention back then because I busted my ass in the gym. And when I did that, I had a lot of female attention too. Problem with that was I ended up letting it go. I fell out of touch with that particular person that I was actually talking about earlier. And I let myself go a bit. Got back into the gym off and on, but started doing martial arts. That was my way of getting fit. Muay Thai, Salat, Eskrima, Judo, all that fun shit. But I always had low confidence, right? When I was a kid, you know, and as I got older, I was essentially who I am now, but I wasn't. But I still was heterosexual. Problem with that was I had gotten hypnotized. And over time, you know, that false self begins to develop different tendencies and take them off other people because essentially, you know, you've got nothing of your own. I was sheltered. I had no accomplishments myself. I basically just had me. And so I had a lot of bullshit, like I've often said, because, you know, narcissists, whether you're man-made or not, and that false self did turn narcissistic in my 20s, I think. When you're man-made, you still pick up things off other people. And the problem was I was picking up some of the worst shit off other people and feeding off a lot more of the juvenile delinquentish type of person than I was a cleaner cut, nice human being. And I took after my mother. And the women that I take after are mostly like who she was, which was a sociopath. Some of them are. And a fucking pain in the ass. I'm not saying the current ones, so don't get excited, dear. But I am saying that there were a fair bit of those that were not. You know, they were narcissistic and they were mean as fuck. That can take its toll on somebody. Right? That can really take its toll on somebody, especially psychologically. And, what do you need? Oh, sure, yeah. Here, catch. Yeah, no problem. You know if Cheryl's here?
Hey?
You know if Cheryl's here?
You know Cheryl?
Do you know if Cheryl is here? Is she here?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, like right now, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cheryl.
Cheryl, you know little Cheryl, older Cheryl? Cheryl and Dean, Cheryl and Shorty?
Yeah, she's in the kitchen.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, sir. And that can really take its toll psychologically and mentally and everything else, and that's basically the same thing, but I guess what I'm trying to say is it made it so that I was an abused man, pretty much. And I've dated borderlines, I've dated narcissists, I've dated psychopaths, I've dated the whole kit and caboodle. And I'm a lot tougher now than I was before. But the thing was, I had asked my father, I said, teach me masculinity. And part of that is figuring out who you are. And part of curing narcissism is figuring out who you are. So I went on this big, fantastic voyage over the past 2 years, and I did better than anybody ever thought I could have. But the problem with that was, when you need help and when you need to ask for help and when you are down on your luck and when you are down and out, lots of times if you show yourself to be someone of extreme independence, intelligence, and capability, then nobody's going to come and give you a hand. And I'm not looking for any hand here, so don't get excited. But when I was a kid, and I'm jumping around here a bit, and I'm going to try to make this a straight line, so just bear with me. I used to listen to the Backstreet Boys. I used to listen to NSYNC. I used to listen to Boyz II Men, and I always got bugged because that was very unmanly to be listening to. I was always sheltered. I was always not able to go out and really do anything or gain any sort of masculinity and independence when I was a kid. But I earned my balls the honest way. I survived cancer and many different other plights, and as I got older, I worked in bars, I worked as a guard, and I got into fights and earned my shit the honest way. Chased a guy down one time with a handgun. I guess what I'm trying to say is I had masculinity at that time, but again, when I had talked to my father, that had flown the coop, and I had been emasculated, and I was miserable. I thought that this was the end. I was checking with everybody else to solve my problems, and I thought that that was it. That was the last thing that was ever going to occur. And I was getting ready to blow my fucking brains out. So I went to my aunt one day, and she said, okay, something needs to be done about this. Found out later that everything that happened, she claimed, was a joke. You're fucking right, it was a joke. The only problem was the joke was on me. So anyway, long story short, I go on this little trek. I say I don't want to be a narcissist. I don't want to be this or that anymore. And as it turns out, I really started being narcissistic when my ex-girlfriend and my sister went to my aunt and said he's narcissistic. And that is a lot like bipolar, which is depression. But these two so-called experts had told her that I was a narcissist. And I was also taking on a lot of traits from other people, including my friend Joe, who happens to be a covert narcissist. And the problem with that was, over an extended period of time, those traits grew and grew and grew until pretty soon you can't really get out of them, and you have to go and basically relearn everything and relearn how to be a straight, sober, decent human being, straight, happy human being, I should say, and basically start all over again from who you were, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, with all that, there were so many questions that were unanswered, and there were so many questions about me that were unanswered, and nobody knew who I was. And I became the man that nobody knew. So right after that, I go on this big 10-year trek, and the problem is I wouldn't fucking let it go because I was convinced that somebody had fucking hurt me. And I wasn't far off from the truth over this extended period of time. I've been through so much crap, it hasn't even been funny. And a lot of these traits I originally picked up because I picked my aunt as a mother figure, became codependent on her, and therefore started to act once again like a fucking sociopath of all people. And all this stuff sounds incredulous, I know, but it's true, factual, including taking on vicarious trauma. And pretty soon I was buried under everybody's crap. I had no idea who I was as a person. And this went on for a sum of 10 years. And when asking why, I was told that I deserved it. And I went to various and sundry homeless shelters and plenty of other places. And now I'm sitting right here in fucking West Kelowna, BC, talking to the would-be woman of my dreams, hoping like fuck that I don't get any more psychologically screwed up than I have been already. Now, however, being the fact that before I was acting like my dad's would-be son because he wanted some kind of credit for making me the way that I was. And what, simply put, ended up happening was I completely lost until I was found by Cheryl who I was as a human being and as a person, under a whole bunch of rubble and everybody else's expectations and opinions and who they thought that I was and who they thought that I should be, for that matter. And I don't know, actually I do know, I probably know too damn much for my own good. I know that I'm in love with Selena. I know that she said that she loved me and she was sorry, and I know that I want to see her this weekend or sometime soon, and I want to hold her, and better yet, I want her to hold me. So I don't care if anybody thinks that's funny. It's fucking my opinion, and that's the way she goes.